Segment is sponsored by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency.
Join us in preserving and protecting Tennessee's wildlife.
All right, welcome back, everyone. You can call us here, 737-7767. We've opened up the phone lines, area code 615. Hunting and fishing questions, we'd love to answer them. Answer them about the Eric Mumaw benefit tournament too. So we've got the people here that can answer your calls. Yeah. Till those calls start coming in, you know, we've talked about. Now you're going to give a tip of the week here in a minute, but we've got somebody in the studio with us in the audience. He and his dad were going down the Cumberland River and hit a log. Which is, let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, that can happen at any time on the Cumberland River. It is full of logs, but they hit a log, threw both the men out of the boat. The dog had an extra 2 sets of legs, so it stayed. So the dog was fine, but the 2 guys were flopping around. They did not have their kill switch tied onto their PFD. They were wearing personal flotation devices, just didn't have the kill switch. When the boat came around the second time, out of the 3 times it came back around, it took my friend's leg. And so just a constant reminder how quickly something can happen out there. Whether you're in a boat, a pontoon, a ship, or a kayak, it can be that fast that something can go wrong. Please be aware of what's going on. There's not a fish out there that's worth losing a limb or losing a life or anything else. And you know what? We could make this a 0 year for drownings if we just put our heads to it a little bit. Don't you think, Brandon?
Yeah, there's I know when you pull up some places it'll show the drownings, you know. And I know down at Caney there's one of them. And I don't know the number now, so I'm not quoting the correct number, but it'll say like 92 no flotation device and then flotation device 1, or something like
or
that.
Or 0.
So, you know, something along those lines. So yeah, I mean it is very important to keep that in mind. Very important.
But there's other safety devices. There's the kill switch on your big motor if you're running a bass boat or a boat, something like that. But you know, even the kayaks have these long lanyards that you could use or tethers. Put it around your ankle or something in case something does happen. The kayak's not going to go flying out where you're stranded out there in the water. It's hooked up to your foot. And I noticed you sell a lot of that stuff too.
Typically with the kayak, like one of where you're talking about with safety, you think where you're talking about like SUP boards and stuff like that, like surfboards, that's what they do. With kayaks, typically you don't want to tether yourself to it. So if you fall out, right, because like you're saying with the log, I mean, it could get sucked under a log or anything. You don't want to be tethered to that thing.
No.
But a life jacket is the most important thing.
Oh yeah, big time.
But yeah,
But we showed that new life jackets that you guys are starting to use, and man, that thing I got some high ratings to it.
Yeah.
So
they're comfortable too. I mean, you can paddle in it, you can fish in it, whatever. You know, it's not in your way.
Do yoga in it, you know.
Hey, we got callers here. Let's go to Greg. Greg, how can we help you tonight?
Yeah, I go to Old Hickory and fish sometimes, but it's off the bank where some fishing boats go in, and I can't so much as get even hardly a bite of fish, and I never see anybody else catch anything either. And I was wondering, is there a reason for that? I mean, it's where they let the fishing boats go in there off a little,
Are you talking Old Hickory Lake?
Yeah.
Whereabouts on Old Hickory are you talking?
Well, when you go down by DuPont plant, and you go up a little, there's a little swimming area, and there's another area over there across from there.
Yeah, you're talking about Swinging Bridge Road, all back up in there?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first off, you're probably down on the very end. You're down there by the dam.
Yeah, by the dam.
And that's some of the coldest water in the lake. And so it gets... Now, on up in the summertime, like July and August, you'll do fairly well there. But this time of the year, you're on the wrong end of the lake.
Oh,
It's a little bit too cold. You need to be up there near Barton's Creek or Spring Creek or Bledsoe, where that warmer water is coming in from the rains, and it tends to warm that water up a whole lot faster, so your fish are more active because the shad are more active.
okay.
Okay?
All right.
Well, we hope that helps you out.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
And we got Raymond. Raymond, how can we help you?
Yeah, what's happened to our bullfrogs? Used to on a summer night, you'd be driving with your windows down, and if you was close to a pond or a creek, you'd hear them big old bullfrogs just a bellowing out, but you don't ever hear them no more.
I think we're looking at the culprit.
No, I didn't take them all now.
What about the bullfrog?
Well, you know, I don't know and have not heard of anything in the management world about any numbers being down or anything like that. So I don't know. I mean, I know we usually watch them during the breeding season or whatever. You know, you can start seeing them crossing the roads and going from pond to pond and things like that. And this past year, survey-wise, I wouldn't have noticed it to be any different than any other year. So I don't know if it may be something localized, you know, around where you're at there, or what. But
What y'all do at Tennessee Tech? Y'all went and investigated the bullfrog.
Oh yeah, we did a lot of different things like that, doing counts and studying their travel patterns, like I say, between wet
But
zones
frogs
and things
do
like that.
travel. They migrate.
They do. They'll, you know, there you'll have a big farm pond. Let's say there's two of them on either side of a highway. So when you're driving down a highway at the right time of year and it's raining, you'll notice frogs and turtles and things like that. And what they'll do is, when it rains, it's naturally damp enough for them to stay moist, and they'll cross from one pond to another. So you'll see a lot of them crossing roads and things like that during the rain when it's right time of year.
But as far as you know, and as far as your buddies in the know, they know.
I've not heard anything about numbers being down on bullfrogs, no.
But I tell you what, it's a great question, and one
It is.
we need to look into with TWRA, because there is an amphibious biologist at TWRA. And I promise you, they know what's going on.
They know exactly what's going on.
But hopefully, watch us next week. We'll try to have you a good answer, okay?
All right, and I'm waiting to see y'all on film.
All right, we appreciate it. Thank you. And we got Triton. Triton, how can we help you?
Yes, I might have an answer to the bullfrog situation there.
What you got?
Go ahead.
Well, seems like every time you go by a pond, you'll see a big blue heron in there, and that's tended to get a few frogs off a pond I used to be able to gig. He won't let me go there no more because he says the population's down because the blue herons have been eating them.
I mean, that would make sense. They definitely take their share of them for sure, no doubt.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, Triton, I'm going to step on a few toes, brother, because I've been saying this for years, that those things are protected. The frog isn't, but the blue heron is, and he has got an open buffet all the time. I'm the same way with hawks. They're eating our quail. They've eaten everything that comes down the pike, and we can't do a stinking thing about it. They kill chickens. They kill chicks. They're devastating. And we don't, and come on, they're not on the endangered list anymore. Now, you can feed me a line of bull all day long, but you ain't never gonna make me believe that one again. Because there's red-tailed hawks on every high line that you go past. Same way with blue heron. He's right. Yeah. Every little every little hole that a whole water's got blue heron.
There's one standing in it. I mean, that is.
Or those mergansers.
A lot of truth to that.
And here's the other thing: those mergansers and coots and all that, they're killing our habitat. Look at the islands out on Old Hickory that used to be beautiful trees that are stumps now, and just the acid out of all those cranes and things have killed all the trees, and it will never grow back again. That's the sad part. Reelfoot Lake is getting hammered by them. Our own natural cypresses are dying off because of the birds.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, and I'm off my soapbox now.
You can
turn it
step
back
down.
over to
You
Brett.
can step down now.
I'm gonna get me some decaf coffee.
Yeah, that's right. We're gonna have to get him on decaf on Thursday nights anyway. I just wanted to ask you just about maybe some of the other sponsors that are going to be involved with this tournament, and kind of I know you guys are going to have some prizes and things like that. So kind of what's going on that side of the deal.
Well, there's quite a bit of sponsors, just like last year. To name a few, I mean,
Thank you.
Thank you.
there's
Wasn't flashing anymore.
there's quite a few of them actually. There's like Jackson Kayak is one, and that's going to be the big prize is a Coosa HD. That's custom color. That's going to be a thin blue line. It's black, and like the cooler up here up front.
Oh, yeah.
We've got 2 Orion coolers again that are 65s instead of 45s like last year, so we got to up that game a little bit. We have things like Hobie is throwing in an H crate and a
fold and go cart.
so we have
And
little things like
you'll eat
that.
for free.
Yeah,
Contractors
and
Inc. will be feeding you for
too.
free.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one. There's just quite a bit of different swag from other people like Warner Paddles and Bending Branch.
Oh, yeah.
There's just a bunch of different little things like that. That's going to be an awesome event again.
Well, we're looking forward to
Sounds
it.
like a big
Again,
time.
it's March 31st, right?
And a free meal out of it if you're fishing it.
All right.
So.
We got to go do our tip.
We'll go over and do our tip of the week. This week's tip of the week's being brought to you by Davidson Farmers Co-op. You can go over and see them. They're right there on Dickerson Road, right off of Bradley Parkway, or give them a call, 860-4774. They've still got all sorts of things going on down there right
Big
now.
time.
They've got spring sale, moving in new stuff.
Have you
and
seen the truckload
clearing
of
that
chicks
winter
they got
stuff.
in?
Yeah, chicks are down there. And
Getting ready for Easter already. I mean, a big truckload of chicks coming in, and
yeah.
So-
well, I asked Ryan.
there'll be some pink ones and some
Yeah.
purple ones.
We won't get on to that story.
No.
I asked Ryan if he would do our tip of the week this week. So what do you have this week, Ryan?
So the tip of the week is a lot of people will use, have been using forever, is when you go hiking, camping. It's just letting people know where you're at. A lot of times, I mean, we have cell phones and GPS location and stuff like that. One of the best ways to do it is just dropping a pin. Simply is where you get to your spot, say, hey, this is how long I plan to be here, just to let people know, because you never know when something happens.
I'm a firm
so-
believer of that.
We try what we try to do with, if it's a big type of like fishing trip, we're going to be gone for a few hours. We try to at least check in with with mom.
Yeah.
Every about 30 minutes to an hour to just text and be like, hey, we're good, and we still plan to be home at a certain time, or hey, we're going to stay out a little bit later because, the fish are on and you don't stop when they're on.
Right.
But Brian's right. You owe it to your family to come back safely.
Oh, yeah.
You do.
So-
And dropping a pin like he's talking about, that's a great idea. I
It
really
is.
haven't thought about doing that, but that's a great idea.
It is. I drop one, especially at Walmart, because I get lost. But thank you so much for the tip, brother.
You bet.
All right. Hey, we're going to take a quick break again.
That's right. It's time again.
Tom Courtney.
I think he's going to be in the house. We'll see here in a minute. It's about time for him to get here.
Yet, but I'm hoping.
That's right. We'll be right back with some more Southern Wisdom Waters.